head to the dollar store and pick up some pillar candles to make today's fun fall craft. Hello, I am Katie from the CRAFTYBLOGSTALKER.com, and if you're new to my videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you won't miss out on any of my upcoming craft tutorial videos. I have all the supplies that we're going to be using laid out on my table here, but don't worry, I will have a complete supply list with links either in the description of this video or in the blog post. The cut file that we're going to be using is an SVG that I designed specifically for this project, and I will make it available for you to download for free. We're going to start in Cricut Design Space on a blank canvas, and I am using the app on my iPad. So it may look a little bit different if you are on a computer. Now I've already uploaded the design. I'm going to go to upload, open uploaded images, and I'm going to highlight that design and add it to my canvas. Now these are already sized exactly as you need to fit the 8-inch pillar candles from Dollar Tree. But we're going to do a couple adjustments to them here in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to tap on layers, highlight all, and I want to ungroup so they're each their own. Not each flower is its own, but each section is its own. And then I want to make them different colors so they'll cut on different mats. So for the flowers, I'm going to click on Edit, go to Basic Cut, and we're going to make those red. The leaves, same thing, we're going to make those yellow. Here, let's get rid of that Layers panel. And the pumpkins, we're going to make those orange. Now I can select Make It. This next screen is a matte preview, and we don't really need to do anything. We don't need to mirror or change the material size, but one thing I do like to take note of is the size of my design on my mat. So as you can see, it's just a little over 7 inches tall and not quite 7 inches wide. So now we know how big to cut our vinyl. The easiest way to measure out your vinyl is with your mat while that protective cover is still on. And we need our square to be about 7.5 by 7.5. So I can roll out my vinyl with the grid up, find that 7.5 mark, and then just cut along the grid. Then do the same the other way. And now I have my 7.5 by 7.5 square piece of vinyl. Back to matte preview, I'm going to hit next, and we are using the glossy permanent vinyl. Now I can remove that protective sheet, and I'm going to align my vinyl in this bottom left corner, so along the top and the side. Then I can go to my Cricut and load my mat. When the machine is ready to cut, the play light will start to blink, and I can just hit that, and then the Cricut will cut out my design. This mat is done cutting, so we're gonna unload and then follow the prompts in Cricut Design Space to know what color of vinyl to cut next. To remove the vinyl, we want to turn the mat over and remove the mat from the vinyl, not the vinyl from the mat. This is just a good habit, especially when working with paper, because then your paper won't curl. We're done with our mat, so we're gonna immediately put our protective sheet right back on top, and I always line it up using that hole at the top of the mat. And when weeding, I'm going to keep a pair of scissors nearby, and I like to use the weeding tool that has that little hook there at the end. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm just going to start weeding, and I'm going to go really quite slow because there are some delicate lines in there that I don't want to lose. Making sure that nothing comes up that I don't want to come up. Okay, I'm going to cut this off just because that's a lot of places to keep my eye on. And keep weeding. I've got all my designs weeded, and let's start with our pumpkin. I'm going to cut a sheet of transfer tape that is about the same size as my design here, and I'm going to trim off the edges. Remove the paper backing from my transfer tape, and I'm going to trim off the bottom too. And as straight as possible, I'm going to roll that transfer tape onto the design. Turn that over. Now the pillar candles I'm using are the 8-inch tall pillar candles from Dollar Tree. And that is the design that these have been sized to. When I bought the candles, they had a religious plastic covering on them. Those came right off. On one of them there was a little bit of sticky residue, so I just used some Goo Gone and it took it right off. We want the bottom of our design to wrap around the base of the candle. So we're just going to find that placement before we stick anything down. Okay, and that looks good. I like that placement. Now this side of the transfer tape is exposed, and that is so we can lay that down onto our candle and it will hold everything in place. Now we don't want to leave it there and then wrap, because as you can see, my pumpkins on the other side will go over the top of that. But that will hold it in place for the time being to get started. Peel back, and I want to make sure that everything is sticking to my transfer tape. Fold that. And then I'm going to lift and rub those pumpkins into place. And just keep going. Okay, now we're getting close to this end, so I'm going to start peeling up on this end. And we're going to kind of roll it onto itself so it won't fall over. There we go. A couple of those little end pieces aren't wanting to stick to my transfer tape. But there, I think we got it. There we go. Now we can reuse this transfer tape on our next candle too. So here's our edge that we folded over. And now we're going to pull straight back. And now we want to make sure that all those little pieces stick to our glass candle, not to the transfer tape. And we'll stick our transfer tape onto this backing just to hold it for me. And look at our cute pumpkin candle. This turned out so cute. Now we're going to repeat those steps for the other candles with the other designs. And here are the finished candles. Aren't they so cute? And they were really quite simple to make. And they will look so great either with a centerpiece or as their own on a table or mantle or shelf. They're so cute. I love how they turned out. If you want more free SVG cut files and fun project ideas, check out my website, thecraftyblogstalker.com. Thanks everyone. Bye. and happy crafting!